So I've been in the house studying on this for a few minutes and looking online, and I have found where someone sells a little arm that's very similar to the little arm that I made here. It looks like it bolts down here and then has a drop down just like this one does. The problem I have with this one, let's see if I can sit you here and have you stay while I pull that open, is that when this comes open, it comes open to up here. And it looks like it might be possible for that to come, like if I loosened this and had this arm facing down here, then when it comes up to here, it would be facing out this way instead of up in the air like that. And maybe that's what that arm that they're selling online is supposed to do. This just goes up, it doesn't really pull it out. But if it was at a lower angle, it would. And I've got room to have that run down here and do that. Well, let me get some wrenches and I'll mess with it a little. I might have to, see, it looks like where I have it right now, that it literally would open that up all the way. See, that's all the way, and even when it's partially, maybe that, yeah. I might need a longer screw that comes out here so that this will clear that. Now I have this little thing here which is made for that, but it's going to hold that right about there, which might catch on this one when it comes out. I should be able to find, just for test purposes, maybe I could find a little screw that I could stick in that. Put a nut on just to set it up and try it out. I'm going to put the camera down while I look for something suitable. I may have to adjust this thing out a little bit, but I can do that. But it looks like if I took one of these, and keep in mind, if this works, I'll probably come up with something else later. But let's just stick this on here and let that stick out like that. And if we stuck this onto that, now, where'd my spring go? That's it. Put my spring back on here. Here. So, let's see if it's all the way out, but it actually comes out. Well, when you stomp it, I guess it's not going to matter. And that's. I don't know if that's going to work or not. I don't know if this is actually supposed to have some play in it when it's not there, but it's actually not pulled out any. I guess the best thing to do is just take it out and try it as soon as it stops raining, which it's not stopping. It's not stopping yet. So that'll be tomorrow, or maybe the next day, depending on the weather. But I wanted to do that because otherwise I'd be thinking about it all night. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me and putting up with my wicked ways. So the sun came out and the sky turned blue. It's getting a little colder. It said it was going to today. The wind's blowing, but I don't care much about that. I was out here this morning working on these banjos and saying that I'd like to take this car for a drive and see how it's going to do after I readjusted the, some people call this a TV valve, and some people call it a something else. There's a lot of names for it, but I just want to give it a test ride and see if the passenger gear kicks in. So I'm going to get all these pieces and parts and wrenches off my engine and get all these banjos out from back here and set them aside and move these cars, golf carts and junk out of the way. Take this out, drive it down the road and back and see if I can kick the passenger gear in. So that's my plan. Be back in a second. Okay then. I'm looking for my seatbelt back there. This is old school. I don't have a seatbelt back there. So this was the change of direction. I was working on banjos and then decided I need to take this car for a ride because I got sunshine. I didn't have that earlier. So this is a cold crank. It's been sitting, well, I might have cranked it to move it this morning. Starts up good now. The choke is still closed, so we're getting a good bit of smoky gas there. That's normal. There's going to be some mud on the road over here, so I'm going to try to go slow and not throw it all up on the car. And of course that means it's going to be a little cold too. I want to get a different shifter for this car. This one doesn't have any locks on it. I'm always afraid it'd be kind of easy to shove this thing up into reverse. I'd like to have one that had some of those locks, some of those little gate locks, whatever you call those things, so that you don't wind up. Basically, this is just a rod that attaches to the rod that's on the side of the transmission. This is an old Indy shifter or some kind of shifter from back in the 70s, I think. Yeah, we got muddy spots right here. Gotta miss those a little bit. I still ain't washed my windows yet, but that's okay. We'll get around to that. So I'm gonna run up and down the road a little bit and warm it up, and then we'll try kicking it down. Temperature gauge hasn't even moved any yet. It's starting to come up a little bit now. So I'm gonna sit you back over here. We'll go back home. Get over this hill up here, get a little straightaway, I'll kick it down. And she did. Did you hear that? That went. That's what that detent is supposed to do. It's supposed to kick it into passing gear when you roll down on it. I'm gonna do it again when we get over this hill. I'll get a little straightaway shot. I'm not going super fast. I'm going about 50, 85, 50, 55, something like that. See that kick down? Yeah, I went right up to about 80, just like that. That's all I could ask for. Thank you, Lord. So when I get back home, I'll probably go back home to boxing up a banjo. I've got a second banjo. I'm gonna go ahead and run on eBay. And the one I was looking at, the Stopalopoulos Greek banjo that was made by the guy that eventually started the family that started making the Epiphones. I think I might hold on to that one a little more and sell this second banjo. Get these two listed, and then I'll take a look. I think I got some banjos that are put away in the cases that are pretty good complete banjos. Some of them may not be put together. I remember I had one years ago. I took it apart. I was going to clean it all up, put it back together, and I got sidetracked and busy doing other things, and I never did put it back together, but I can do that. I'm happy with this right here. Another thing I'm going to do is make a ring to go around my fan blade. Fan shroud, mostly because I don't want to stick my hand down there and lose a finger or something. The way that blade's flipping around down in there, yeah, I was thinking, man, I'll put something on that. I was thinking about cutting the top off a plastic barrel or something, setting it over in there just big enough to go over that fan, or making me a loop out of some tin and mounting that in there. But I'll figure that out later. We get all the other loose ends fastened up, all. And we can get to doing that kind of thing. I like the way this feels. It feels good and peppy. Somebody asked me the other day, would it go fast? And I said, but right now the passenger ain't kicking in, but I think it's safe to say, yeah, it'll go fast. It'll go plenty fast. We'll get it back home, put it back in the garage, and I'll get back to my banjo workings. And, I tend to go in a lot of different directions all at once. There was some article about people with ADHD, and someone was listing all the faults, that doctors and people have assigned to people with ADHD, and this guy was listing all the things that ADHD people have that normal people don't have, like, a lot of creativity and thinking outside the box and coming up with different ways to do things and ridiculous amounts of energy and all kind of stuff like that. And I'm kind of that, I don't focus very well. Waylon Wire, we kind of joke about that because he's got focus. He can start on a project and stay with it. And I'll start on, well, I don't know, he's got a little of that ADHD stuff, but I think I might have a little more than he does. But anyway, I got a little more than he does, maybe a little bit less than Perry Noble does. Perry Noble's got quite a lot of it. He's my preacher right now. I seem to, oh look, something blew the Christmas sign over here a little bit. This thing's idling really fast, but that's okay. I'm still working out the little hairy details here. The car is good though. I'm very happy with it. At some point, I'll try to get some videos of it going down the road, and I'm thinking this might be a good car to. There's some car shows you that you want to take a more comfortable car to. If you've got an open fendered car or an open car with no roof and all, well, that may not be your most comfortable car to drive a long distance, you know. So this might be the car that gets to go to a lot of car shows that are far away. There's a guy named Chevy Tom, and he's always sending me things about car shows down around the Athens area. I hadn't been going to them, but I could, especially in this car. This car's comfortable enough to get out and go to places like that. So, yeah. And plus it gives me something to work on, as well as banjos. So I'm going to stick this right back in here. It's idling really fast. Oh, and it's doing that too. Yeah, I might pour some water down in the carburetor like what's his name? The race car guy said to do. Frazzle, what's his name? Oh, I've heard me talk about it. Okay, thanks for coming along for the ride. Oh, the joy. Got my camera upside down, backwards, and everything else. Whee!